Thank you.
That was interesting. I've never heard that before. Did you hear that?
Yes. And now we all have to choose continue.
We have it's telling us it's being recorded and we have the option to continue or leave the meeting.
Okay, and Amber is trying to get on. She is lost in Zoom abyss. Slash. Did you guys, oh, there she is. There she is. Did you guys go to togetherwescent.com/Zoom? Did anybody do that? Or did you click on the link that was just in the,
I clicked the link.
Okay, just curious if that.
Yeah, I just clicked the link too.
Okay, awesome. All right, we are recording. Welcome, everybody. It is so good to see your faces. Some new faces on, some regular faces, and this is very exciting. We are pumped up tonight, which makes up for last week. I apologize for last week. We were a little bit in retreat mode, and so thanks for tuning in this week. Okay, before I start anything, we are going to turn the call over to Robin Martin. She is one of our annual sales earners for the 2021 year, which means she sold over $30,000 in Scentsy products from May 1st of 20 to April 30th of 21. And so we're spotlighting and showcasing the consultants that have earned that award at the beginning of our Zoom calls, thanks to Carrie Quick's awesome idea. So thank you, Carrie. So Robin's going to talk to us for a bit, and then we will dive into the rest of our agenda for tonight. So Robin, take it away and introduce yourself and tell us, when did you join and all that good stuff?
Okay, so I'm Robin Martin. I joined Sensei in November of 2016. And I told Tammy, who's my sponsor and my director, immediately that she should not plan on any real sales from me because I really wasn't going to do it for anything but myself. So that went out the window within the first 15 days. I'll just admit that right off the top. I'm compulsively competitive. I can't help it. So I jumped right in and I love it. And you guys are the best friends I've ever had. So this is a great thing for me. So with annual sales, I'll be honest with you, I really never thought I was going to get that. When a few years ago, when they did the Mediterranean cruise, Tammy sat me down and had me write out and figure out the math, because I'm a math person, and she had me figure out what I needed for the incentive and write it out and follow it every month and track it. And so that's what I applied to the annual sales. I tracked my PRV May through April. I have a little note on my phone, and every month I would put my PRV in. And what I would do is then the next month I would put my cumulative total and whether I was plus or minus on track of where I needed to be. I didn't worry, I'll be honest, I did not panic in the first 5 or 6 months if I wasn't on track, because I knew when we hit the fall and Christmas, I was going to give myself a little leeway. And I think that that's important for us to remember, is that, you know, you're going to have months where you're not going to meet that goal. To make annual sales, you need an average of $2,500 a month in sales. I've never averaged that before. And so that was a pretty lofty goal for me, I'll be honest. And having it written down, being able to look at it I was looking at it every week because, you know, I wanted to track myself. But it helped me focus, because if I knew that I needed to hit these goals, then I would look at the month that I had planned and say, well, I only have one party planned, or I only have one Facebook thing going on, or whatever. I need to get more if I'm going to hit those goals. So I think that writing it down helped me focus and helped me be more intentional about what I was doing each month with my activity. It also helped me avoid waiting until the last 3 days of the month and suddenly going, oh crap, I'm not going to make my numbers that I wanted to make. So I would write it down. And when I got to the halfway point of the year, what I did is I did my cumulative PRV, and I did halfway would have been 15,000. So was I above or below that 15,000? And I did the math. And then for me, what helps me is I looked at it and said, okay, we have 5 months left or 6 months left or 3 months left or whatever it was. I need this much more. It averages out to this much, because knowing what my target was helped me focus, helped me look for those other things to do. It also, by writing it down and being more intentional about things, it helped me to front load. And what I mean by that is, for those of you who don't know me, we are dairy goat farmers. We have a very small herd, but baby season is April. So I know that I have 5 mamas due in April, and I'm going to be sleeping in the barn for most of the month. So I had to know what my averages needed to be for February and March leading up to April, so that I could front load those months and take the pressure off of April. By writing it down and being intentional, it helped me plan. It helped me see the path, and it helped me look at things and go, oh, well, I need more parties this month. I had 9 parties in March because I knew that April I'm going to be too busy for that. So I think the biggest takeaway that I would say to you is, if you're going to set a goal, write it down and just track it and look at it and give yourself some grace if you're behind. If it wasn't for September, where everything went wacko and I had huge numbers in September, I wouldn't have made it. But I knew that the summer was okay. It was a little low. September's always a better month. I know my business. I know my customers. I know my events. I know what's going on. So it helped me plan. By writing it down, it also helped me figure out when I needed to get a little creative. So I usually do, every year when the babies come, we do a "you've got to be kidding me" sale, because goat babies are called kids. So you've got to be kidding. And so I do a sale, and I do the sale based on how many babies we have that month. That's how many little specials I have for this sale. It's a 1-day sale. Well, by writing it down and kind of knowing where my goals were, it also helped me think, okay, well, I'm not going to make my goal for this month if I don't do something else. What else can I do? So I put out a post on my Facebook private group and my business page and said, I'm making deliveries tomorrow and will be in your area. Let me know if I can get you something. And then I tagged a few customers that I know usually buy every couple months. And you guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. I really wasn't going to make deliveries that next day, but I had nothing else going on. So I figured I would try it. I got enough orders to boost me over where they needed to be. So I think that writing it down and being focused helps you be more intentional. It also helps you be more creative, and it helps you focus what you need to do. It helps you think about those creativity avenues that maybe you wouldn't necessarily focus on. You might get caught up in other things with life, because I'll be honest, usually, as much as I want Sensei to be my number one, animals come first, and other things with houses and whatever come second, and Sensei sometimes comes in third. But if I know that I've got to make these numbers, then it helps me carve out that time to make those Amy follow-ups. Because if you don't do those follow-ups, if you don't get creative, you're going to miss those opportunities. So that's it. Is that okay? Is that enough?
Of course it's okay. It's your story, and it's your tips, and it's your road, and it's how you got here. And a couple things that I wanted to point out based on what you said was, you said something that Cassie, when she spoke to us, said also, and that is, when you break things down into bite-sized chunks, it is easier to accomplish. And I was just looking, because another really awesome thing that when you're trying to achieve a goal, whether it is Becker right now trying to get her Converse, her Scentsy Converse, or it is Cassie trying to hit annual sales and sending me little text updates. When you put it out there, you have, which can be scary, right? But when you put it out there, you have accountability.
Yes.
And people that are watching and people that are cheering you on and people that are helping. And we will always let ourselves down before we will let our people down. Isn't that funny? So so it's good when you put it out there. And Cassie was doing that exact same thing with, March 15th, she sent me a text, 39:65 to go. I started another Facebook party yesterday. And it's like what Robin is saying. You're just taking it, chiseling it away and putting it out there. And it's awesome. So wait, let me say this. For Robin to say, don't plan on me for sales when she first joined, how about her office looks like Scentsy goals, doesn't it?
Oh
Like
gosh.
Yeah, no, it does, right? Because no, don't turn your computer. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I wrote down Robin's office is goals. Oh, that's awesome. So for somebody that said, don't plan on me for sales, I think you're here to stay. And what's funny is, especially during this $20 join period, where we think we are getting people to join just because it's the same cost as getting a mini warmer as it is to get the mini warmer and have a business and an opportunity to place your own orders and get commission off of it. But sometimes something, a trigger is or I should say a switch is flipped, or something triggers this turning into something more. When Mary Jane first started, she berated me about one side and down the other for what the minimum requirement was to stay active. And she was really worried she wouldn't be able to sell $150 every 3 months. Meanwhile, she's an annual sales earner, has been here 7.5 years and is a director. So you just never know. And you'll hear that story very common within our group, is that people didn't necessarily expect to make this anything. And sometimes Sensei makes you kind of capture that vision because Robin, did you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say is that to be completely transparent, the reason I told her not to expect everything is that I was sure I was going to fail. I was sure I was going to fail because I'm not comfortable talking to people I don't know, and I'm not a salesperson. And so I threw that out there as a disclaimer so she would have low expectations of me in case that's all I could do. And it was interesting to look back now 4.5 years later and realize that I did myself a disservice by throwing those disclaimers out. So, okay, in case I fail, I'm already covered. I already warned you. And that bothers me that a lot of times as women, we automatically do that. And instead of celebrating, I'm going to give this a try and give it my all, we hide behind that. Myself, seriously, hide behind, well, don't expect a lot. And so it's interesting to see how many people thought that in the beginning. And I wonder, did they really think that, or were they afraid to fail and they didn't want to have it out there for everyone to see?
Yep. I think it's common. I think we find it in ourselves, and I think we find it in our new consultants, that it's very easy, exactly what you said, to set the stage for ourselves.
Yes.
Because low expectations are never met with an anticipation for high productivity or success. Yeah. And so I love when we hear stories like this. And it actually, if we have time toward the end, we were going to do it at the end, but it fits perfectly here, is that a lot of times when you get in and you start selling Scentsy because of the product, but that isn't why that's not the only reason why you stay. That isn't what has, the product is amazing. We know that, right? Most of us, the reason we joined is because of the product. But what has the stickiness is the other things that we learn about ourselves, the ways that we grow, the skill sets that we achieve, that we acquire or learn or build up to, the expectation that our friends have of us. And so, it's really fun to look on this screen, and by show of hands, if you've been with Sensei for more than 7 years, raise your hand. Shannon, and Becker and Janelle and Lisa and Stetz. I mean, I would say that's a heck of a lot of us. And I didn't even look on the second screen of us, right? How many of you know that many consultants that stay in direct sales that long, and especially with one company? There's something to be said about it. And I mean, I'm going to say it's because we have an amazing community, an amazing group right here that you have access to all the time or most of the time, maybe not at 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's really cool because we have found ourselves here for different reasons, maybe the product, but different reasons have brought us here, different ways of life. Did you ever think that you would meet a dairy goat farmer that sleeps in the barn with her babies in the whole month of April? I mean, come on, but it's really cool that we get to meet a dairy goat farmer who sleeps in the barn with her babies in the month of April because of Scentsy. And so, Robin, thank you so much for sharing with us. And I appreciate you. You are a rock star. Yes.
The other thing I was going to say is that the other thing that motivated me with this is that Tammy called me and said, hey, did you know you're on track? She noticed what I was doing. I didn't say a word to her. I didn't tell her that I was going for it, but she noticed. And as leaders, we all need to realize that when we notice what our folks are doing, even if they don't make it, just the fact that she noticed and she goes, you're on track. And if you do this much per month, blah, 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 you're going to hit it. That meant a lot to me. Yep. Because she's got a lot of people on her team and she didn't have to notice me, but she did. And so as leaders, that's one thing that I was walking around with this little bubble like, hey, she noticed me. But we need to do that for our folks, And
it doesn't just have to be for annual sales. No. It could be for monthly sales. Yes. Looking at your team members and seeing if they've got $195 in the system and they're $5 away from being active, if they've got $450 in the system, but 500 is where they would get paid on their downline, it's worth calling that to their attention. Or if you have a downline member who is really close to $2,000 in a month and could earn that monthly sales bonus, which is an extra 5% commission. Again, it doesn't have to just be an annual award where you can show attention and, and be on the lookout, because sometimes consultants don't even realize that they could hit something unless it's called to their attention. So, okay, awesome. So really quickly, register for SFR, Sensei Family Reunion. It's virtual this year. Register if you haven't. I did make a post on Together We Sent not that long ago asking for a show of hands if you did register. And so it's virtual. It is $11. Even if you can't watch it live, that gives you $11 gives you the access to SFR for the 30 days after. But if you would never, ever, ever attend SFR in your life, this is an opportunity for you to attend for $11 from your own home. So make sure you do that. Bring Back My Bars are starting on June 1st. They'll be here for 30 days. And remember, it is important not just to promote the Bring Back My Bars, but also try to match customers with a scent they may fall in love with so that you can get them on Scentsy Club or get that fragrance added to their Scentsy Club before the end of the month. If you didn't see on the news tab, the Marvel Spider-Man wall fan diffuser and the Princess Castle wall fan diffuser will go into the vault on May 31st. So last minute promoting for that. If you have anybody that might be on the fence with getting one, or you didn't reach out to your Marvel or Disney fans, do so now, because it will be going in the vault as of May 31st. I meant to look. Nicole, I told you were going to announce SFR, didn't I? And I stole it from you. I know you're going to beat me up for that later. I know it. What I was looking for, though, was really quickly our Thursday night shift topic for this coming week. And I will confirm this and I'll post the topic on Thursday. It's updating your customer newsletter and tips of workstation tips. So I will make sure that hasn't changed, but I appreciate you guys getting on Tuesday nights. This is our group call. This is something that we've been doing, maybe not on Zoom, but we have been here Tuesday nights at 9:15 Eastern time since 2009. So it's very special to me. And so I appreciate anytime that I see your guys' faces pop on. It means a lot to me because there's no place else that I would be at 9:15 on Tuesday nights. In addition to our Tuesday night call, we have a Thursday night call that I do with 6 other superstar directors. You never know what you're going to get. Never know what you're going to leave there with or what we're going to end up talking about, but it is a really good time. It's very casual. And so if you feel like getting on more than one Zoom during the week, then I recommend that one, and that'll be posted on the page. The other thing that we do is on Fridays, we do a working or a set of work hours where we virtually work together. And we call it virtual Cubicle. And we started at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it typically runs until about, well, it just depends, until Cassie ends her work day at 4 or 4:30 Eastern time. But you can come work on Scentsy. It doesn't have to be working on Scentsy, but we are all together, and it's a way for us to hang out. And again, it promotes that community that we are so proud of. And so you'll see head shaking from Cindy and Cassie and Robin and Nicole and Mary Jane and Carrie and, Andrea, Sess and Tina and everybody that gets on Cubicles. So we love it. Okay. Take a breath and a drink, Melissa. Okay, I will. We have added our group in Sensei. In May, we've added 257 new consultants. Even if they don't know they're a consultant and they think they're just they are here for the discount. Well, Robin essentially could have been here for the discount in the beginning, and same with Mary Jane. So you just never know what's going to happen. But we added 257 more of those people, possible potential future directors or lifers. Doesn't even have to mean director. You could be a Sensei lifer. It doesn't matter. So 257. I do want to shout out amongst our well over $500,000 in sales that our group has done through the 25th of this month. I want to shout out Debbie Kuna for having 4. She's added 4 new consultants this month, followed by Jody Herring, who's added 3. And then all of these consultants that have added 2. We have Ashley Ellis, Ginger LeCroy, Chelsea Plake, Cynthia Abraham, Stacy Peck, Amy Lewis, Emily Cody, Kylie Potts, Jennifer Bowers, Rebecca Kirkpatrick, Joy Armstrong, Jen Derrick, Mary Jane Radloff, Tammy Frazier, Taylor Tidwell, Shannon Rogers, and Lisa Becker. So awesome. Now, that's not to downplay any of you that have added 1. I think Tori, you've added 1. I saw your name on the list. And that's not to downplay any of you that have added 1, because that is 1 more than 0, which is amazing. And we are going to spotlight you at the beginning of June when we do our team and group recognitions. So all of you that have added anybody, your recognition is coming on the Together We Sent page. So there is, so what I think I shouted out, let me look really quick, just to kind of give you an idea. I shouted out 19 names. So 138 of you have added at least 1 person, which is awesome. So that is amazing. And you are going to get your recognition at the beginning of June. Anybody else want to share a celebration that you have aside from sponsoring or sales, whatever, drop it in the chat. I'm going to take some snippets of those things that you share and turn them into quotes to share on Together We Sent. So what celebrations, it doesn't matter if it is that you got an order that you have been trying to get for a week. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever big or small that you are celebrating, put it in the chat so that I can take those and share the celebrations with the rest of our community. Okay, I appreciate you for that. Let's see. 2 little tip things I want to share with you before we go into survey, a question that I have for you, and a giveaway tonight. 2 tips. So I think I shared this on a previous Zoom not that long ago, but I want to share with you again because I have an update to it. So everybody that places an order with me in person, whether it's out of my stock, cash and carry, or PWS order and I don't even touch it and it ships directly to them, I always give my customers a thank you packet, whether they are in person or I mail it to them as a thank you for their PWS. You guys have seen these a million times. I make these little thank you packs. They have a sample of counter clean in it, some laundry samples, a scratch and sniff sheet, and a showcase brochure in the back. Okay. It could be it doesn't matter what's really in the pack, because the whole point of telling you this is that I printed these on my computer. It is, and I'll read it to you, an affiliate link card. And it says, it's easy to rack up that free stuff. Your personal affiliate link is active until, just send your friends to this link and score. So it would look like this when I hand it to Ashley Leach, because she just ordered from me. And this is hypothetical. Ashley's like, I didn't just order from you. But this is hypothetical, right? So I'm going to say, okay, Ashley, thank you so much for your order. I appreciate you so much. And here's what I'm going to do. Because let's just say that you just picked up 6 bars out of my stock. So I'm going to reorder those bars and I'll count those bars toward your qualifying order. So here, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a personal link that is yours, and it's going to be active for the next 80 days. Now, side note, consultants, Sensei lets you have a link or a party open on your workstation for 90 days. Okay. If it's not closed out in 90 days, Sensei will flush that party from the system, even if there's orders attached. So be careful with that. Even if there's orders attached, if there's no activity and it's been 90 days and it hasn't closed, that can be purged from the system. So I set the affiliate link or the party link for 80 days. So Ashley, let's pretend, I'm not really going to count, but let's pretend that your link is going to expire 8/1, okay, 21, and your link, Sensei.us/Ashley. This is, guys, I'm doing it on the fly, so I would make it nicer, but your link expires on 8/1. And here is the link, gratz.sensei.us/Ashley. Share that with all of your friends. If you collect at least $200 in orders on this link, by the time it expires, you will earn free and half price products. How easy is that? So, no skin off your back. If you don't order anything, who cares? I've already got $30 into your shopping link for you because you just bought a 6-pack of bars from me, and I have to replace those bars anyways. And so you need $170 in orders in the next 80 days. You yourself use what? A 6-pack. How often are you coming to me, Ashley? Let's think about it. I think I just saw you like 2 weeks ago, which means you should be a consultant. But anyways, we'll talk about that when we close your affiliate link. But let's see what happens with this. Now, what I do on the backside as the consultant is I have a notepad with shopping links on it. And this doesn't really, mine's longer than this, but it has shopping links, and I put the expiration date. So here's a perfect example. This is my example pad. So I just have the name of the person and when their link expires so that I know to follow up with them before the expiration. Now, let me tell you what happened. I have one of these out right now. It does expire June 30th. And I went into it today because it's about 3/4 of the way through her link expiring. And 2 of my customers have placed orders on her link. They're my customers, so I know they didn't mean to shop from her. But now I get to reach out to her and tell her she's $102 away from a qualifying order where she earns free and half price products. Now, depending on what she does with that 102, whether she makes up the difference or she comes to me with 2 or 3 orders, or 2 or 3 orders come in after I tell her that, and they're online, well, depending on what happens, she may be a really good candidate to flip that party. But in the meantime, even if I don't flip her to a consultant, that is a party that I wasn't expecting or planning on, all because I gave her her own link to share with people. In this case, she's not sharing it yet, but 2 of my customers placed an order to it. And so now I have a reason to reach out to her and be like, hey, 102 away instead of 200. So this has been a really cool, easy, passive tool. And I'm doing it for every single person that orders from me. Because what do I have to lose? And I also really like that when you go to my website, that you can see a list of all these people's parties that are all the people's links that would be open, right? Here's the other tip. And if you have any questions about that, put that in the chat. Here's the other cool tip. This came from Jill McCarthy. And some of you might be doing this, and I give you props if you are. I will tell you honestly, I've never done this before. And because I'm always so quick to rush through getting my party set up that I don't even change any of the defaults in the party screen, unless it's an actual party, then I spend a little bit more time. But let's be real. Okay, so let me share my screen really quickly. And wait. So this is the default image and the default message that comes up on your PWS when you have a party link open. It's a stock image from Scentsy, and it says Spring Summer 2021 catalog, discover delightful new products and fragrances. Okay. So, oh, did I hit stop? Okay, hold on. So that's the default. But how cool is it if you started customizing your parties with, I keep forgetting to hit the start share. Okay, you customize with a custom image. So this one, I just uploaded anything from my computer so that I could give you an example, but you can customize this top image. So you saw in the previous screen, the default image was Scentsy. This one is a custom image, and you can customize the description. So this is my test description for Zoom. My favorite scent is Cambridge, and my favorite thing about Scentsy is the community. So you could put a picture of your hostesses there. You could put a picture of, without being super stalkerish and creepy, from going to somebody's Facebook page and then posting their picture on their affiliate link, which might creep them out. I don't know, but it wouldn't creep them out if you knew them personally. But wouldn't that be crazy if, like, I was like, oh, here's your affiliate link card, Ashley. And, you know, if you do something with it or not, and then you show up to my website and your picture is on it. And wouldn't you be like, oh, how did she must, and she dug back in my photos to find that, right? So you don't want to be like super creepy, but here's why this is really cool, because, so it was Jill McCarthy's idea. That's how it came to me. And here's what she says about it. If I scroll the right chat, that'd be great. Here's what she says about it. Okay, so here's Jill's, right? So this is Jill's online, hold on, it'll focus. So this is Jill's. So her online shop, this is the link that she opens every month for her customers, because we all should have an open link for online orders on our workstation every single month, just to try to filter some of our PWS orders into a party so that we can reap the rewards. So this is the one that Jill is using for her online shop. Okay. But then she says, I don't know if you guys do this, but over the last 2 months, I've added my picture to my online party and then added my host's pictures and had them write up a little paragraph on why they love Scentsy and put it in the description. They are loving it. People click the link and they love seeing their host's picture and the little write-up from their host. You guys might do this already, but I thought I'd share. So I'm passing that along to you. It was an aha for me because I've not ever done that, not with myself, nor with any of my hosts. So there's that. Okay. Here's a survey. I'm going to have you put this in the chat as well. If you have signed up a new consultant recently and they've had any questions for you, or you signed up a new consultant, doesn't have to be recently, and you remember that this was a common question that was asked, or you yourself are like, gosh, if only it was easier to find fill in the blank, or I wish I knew where to go to find blank. Put in the chat those things that maybe if you're coaching a new consultant and you're like, gosh, she asked me this and I didn't know where to go find it. Or my new consultant asked me this question. I thought it was a really good question. Or are you getting the gist of what I'm looking for? Anything that you think might be, how do I add orders to a party? Okay. I don't need to write it down. I'm going to grab it from the chat afterwards. But Okay, how do I add orders to a party? Do you know a common thing that I didn't realize until working with newer consultants? They don't realize to place orders from their workstation. They go, my last 2 consultants have gone to their PWS to place their orders and not attach it to a party, which is why I always say, before you place a single order, make sure you get with me. But in a perfect world, that would happen. But a lot of times they do it on their own and tell me about it afterwards. My team has grown like crazy this month. Should I start my own group in addition to adding them to other groups? So here's what I would recommend with regards to that. Sometimes Facebook page overload can be too much. And so it might be, and you have the ability to connect with them maybe via like Facebook private messenger or a group text thread, or, but I don't think it's necessary to have your own Facebook page where you have to keep up the content when you have a channel to which they can communicate with you, but then funnel them toward the place that's going to have the information, because that takes stress off of you. The last thing you need to do is create more work for yourself. You want to continue to grow and have the group and the community help integrate your consultants. Does that make sense? Is that a good answer? Thumbs up? Back.
Yeah, I actually, an extension to that. So I signed up somebody a few months ago, then she signed up too, and then one under her signed up somebody, and then I just added another, and I'm adding another tomorrow. So it's just grown so much, like a lot. And I didn't know, I feel like when my consultant, when she called me, she's like, "You're a Scentsy grandma." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I added somebody. You're a Scentsy grandma." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So now that I'm a Scentsy grandma, I feel like I need to be reaching out to these people and making sure like, "Hey, you're this far from active. You're this, and this." Cause like Robin is that for me.
Yep.
And it's really nice to have that upline support. And it was just me and Kylie last month. And now it's me, Kylie, and then 3 other people, almost 4 other people. And so I feel like a little overwhelmed, but I don't know what I should do.
And Robin is saying call her. So that is exactly what I was going to say, is this is the perfect opportunity to reach up to your director and develop a plan on communication style for your group. Because as a leader and as a director, sometimes we don't want to overstep, and we would rather work in conjunction with those team members that are building teams and are like, what do I do? So that's an excellent question. Congratulations on your growth. And yes, step 1, call Robin. And I would say step 2 is don't create more work for yourself. Or that's why Together We Scent is a really good hub.
Yes.
And we will have resources coming your way very soon to accentuate that as well. So
Yeah, I'll be having a baby in the middle of July. So less work is good for me.
it's a great thing, but great question. Thank you. Okay, how do I add orders to a party? And I'm not going to answer this. This is just questions that have come up that you have gotten, newer consultants, it's something that you think is important to tell a new consultant, something that, yeah, okay. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. Oh, and we're 3 minutes. Man, this went quick. Super quick tonight. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. So a group of us just got back from a leader retreat. It was not title specific. The invites were intentional, and we want to do more of these types of things. We do offer a couple opportunities throughout the year, different types of retreats, different lengths of time, different locations. And so what I want to know, well, wait, let me back up. So we just got back from a retreat, and retreats are powerful and effective if you let them be. What I want to do is get from you, and I don't want you to tell me on Zoom, and I don't want you to put it in the chat. I just want to throw this out there. I am building a list of people that would be serious in attending any kind of future retreat that we do. Now, I answered this a couple times because I did get messages while we were gone, because of course we posted on social media. I got messages from other team members and community members within our Sensei family, asking, how do you get invited to something like this? Or what do you have to do to be invited? And I want to say, and my answer was, and I'll say it again here, the criteria for each retreat is always different. There's different levels of content, different agendas, different reasons. So it isn't ever like, oh, I'm not in the in crowd because I wasn't invited, or I didn't get an invite, so I'm not going to ever get an invite in the future. Has nothing ever to do with that. So my response to everybody that said, hey, how do I get invited to something like this, was, I want you to send me a message and let me know that you would be interested in attending a future retreat and why. So I'm going to put that out there to you guys tonight as well. And we host everything from 1 overnight retreats to camp, which is a 2 or 3 night overnight. What's the 7? You want to go to the 7-night retreat?
For a 7-day trip.
You want to go for a 7? Okay, well let's get you on the 5 first. Just kidding, love ya. Just kidding. But anyway, we do retreats of all different lengths, all different styles, all different locations, all different agendas. So what I would be interested in knowing is if you are interested and that is something you would seriously consider doing in the future, I want you to send me a private message on Facebook and let me know that you would be interested in an invitation should an opportunity arise in the future, and why. So there, because I and some of the other leaders are building lists, because we always love to have a list of consultants to pull from that would be interested. Remember, it's always better. We like to invite people that are going to say yes. And so, so we want serious inquiries. And so send me a private message on Facebook telling me that you would seriously consider being on the retreat invite list and why. Cool. We are at the top of the hour, exact time. This is perfect. So we're going to end on that note. I'll give you a couple more minutes. I'll leave this open. I will stop the recording. I will give you a couple more minutes to fill in the chat with some of the answers because things are starting to come in now. So let me stop the recording.